Perfectly Imperfect is designed to introduce youth to Latinx, Chicanx, and Hispanic perspectives, while also engaging them in learning and practicing design elements, color theory, and life skills. Throughout the lessons, youth will discover their own unique identity and power as an artivist as they create and fill their own junk journal. Perfectly Imperfect is a 12-hour program comprised of 6 two-hour lessons designed for use by 4-H professionals and volunteers in out-of-school settings, such as 4-H after-school programs. Perfectly Imperfect started as just one idea following 2020's virtual art camp. Many youth in the program were concerned more about following the directions exactly and creating a perfect product than they were about being creative and creating something unique. This kicked off the more than year-long process to create the program. The first step was to complete a needs assessment. There are many excellent 4-H art curricula on the market. However, in Colorado, there are none which offer a ready-made package for 4-H agents to teach in out-of-school time. In conversations with youth and agents, as well as analysis of national 4-H curricula and the 2021 CSU Extension issue canvases, the following needs were identified: a program for young and middle teens in out-of-school time, a full package developed for agents who may not have experience with art or design, incorporation of diversity, equity, and inclusion concepts and cultural competencies, and inclusion of life skills such as critical thinking, creativity, and problem solving. Following the needs assessment, an audience analysis was conducted. The learner analysis was aimed at Otero County youth, both 4-H members and non-members in 3rd through 12th grade. Younger youth were included in the assessment to ensure program sustainability. 15 youth completed the survey. To identify what kinds of learning they had taken part in, youth were asked to list any school art classes they had taken. 93% had taken part in school art classes. In order to assess interest in out-of-school art programs, youth were asked to list any art classes they had taken outside of school. 40% of youth had taken part in art classes in out-of-school time, including 4-H after-school programs and day camps, as well as classes put on by local businesses and concurrent college art classes at Otero Junior College. Youth were then asked to describe the design elements and principles to the best of their ability. Only 7% of youth were able to accurately describe the design elements and principles. This signified a considerable need to provide an opportunity for this type of learning. Finally, youth were engaged in identifying their interests, inspirations, and learning styles. These questions were asked to ensure that the finished program would meet learners' expectations and needs. Youth were most interested in mixed media and painting, indicating a need to include these types of activities. Youth also listed graphic design, 3D, photography, pottery, drawing and sketching, color, pastels, scrapbooking, inking, sculpting, digital, and Eastern arts as interests. Youth were most inspired by nature, books, and culture. These answers influenced the development in the curriculum, sparking the ideas to use found materials and focus on Chicanx, Latinx, and Hispanic cultures as inspiration. Youth also have the opportunity to create their own book through the program, representing their life and perspectives. Youth also listed cartoons, vintage, media, color, magazines, comic books, and punk, alternative, and pop culture as inspirations. In regards to learning styles, 87% of youth preferred doing, 80% preferred watching, 33% preferred reading, while only 27% preferred listening. For these reasons, the activities are hands-on and developed around the experiential learning model. Because youth preferred watching as well, the videos were also included highlighting Chicanx, Latinx, and Hispanic artists and their art. Examples were also given in the PowerPoints to give youth direction in completing their own art prompts. However, emphasis was also put on creating unique pieces specific to each youth's identity. Also included in the audience analysis was a Facebook poll distributed through the NAE 4-H YDP Idea Sharing Group. The poll asked agents to list and vote for the top barriers preventing youth from participating in their programs. The top answer was transportation. Therefore, the program is developed so it can be done anywhere and does not require any heavy or expensive equipment. Also seen as barriers are sports, access to technology, and cost. The curriculum is designed to be low cost and low technology, and could also be taught as school enrichment with the cooperation of classroom teachers. Development of the program began with an examination of the common models used in the design of 4-H programs. First is the Targeting Life Skills model. From this model, the following skills were included in development of the goals, objectives, and activities in the program: self-esteem, stress management, critical thinking, planning and organizing, accepting differences, empathy, contributions to group effort, and self-motivation. Perfectly Imperfect also utilizes ages and stages to provide age-appropriate and aware activities. The program provides the following opportunities for young and middle teens: time outside the home, communicating and bonding with peers, developing self-awareness, finding solutions to problems, developing and executing plans, independence, and finding and embracing their unique identity. And finally, each lesson is developed around the experiential learning model, providing opportunities to do through the introductory art prompt, share, discussion and feedback with peers, reflect through reflective written journal entries, generalize, learning through Latinx, Chicanx, and Hispanic artist highlights and discussion, and finally apply with their final art prompt. Following the examination of these models, a logic model was developed to guide the process of design. The resources needed for the program are an instructor, supplies, and teaching materials. The teaching materials would then be developed as part of the package of the curriculum, with the instructor expectations and supplies listed within the curriculum. Outputs were developed to align with the experiential learning model, with hands-on art prompts, self-evaluation and reflection, peer discussion, and artist highlight videos to bring the concepts to life. The participation of 7th through 12th graders was identified through the needs assessment. And the broad short-term goals of the program are that youth will learn color theory and design elements, as well as engage in the development of life skills. The intermediate goals are that youth will practice and improve their design skills and consistently practice life skills. And finally, the long-term goals of Perfectly Imperfect are that youth will apply design concepts and life skills in all facets of their livelihoods and throughout their lives. The goals of Perfectly Imperfect are that youth will engage their heads, hearts, hands, and health to build life skills from the 4-H Targeting Life Skills model. Youth will demonstrate and incorporate the color theory concepts of color schemes and primary, secondary, and tertiary colors. Youth will demonstrate and incorporate the design element of shape. Youth will demonstrate and incorporate the design element of line. Youth will demonstrate and incorporate the design element of texture. And finally, youth will combine life skills, identity, and the design elements to tell their story with art. From these goals, 3 to 4 objectives were developed for each lesson, utilizing Bloom's taxonomy in order to fully realize youth's potential for learning. Following the development of the objectives, it was necessary to develop the tools for the assessment of learning. The assessment plan includes both formative and summative assessments. Instructor observation and oral questioning are formative as they occur during the instruction and gauge learners' progress. The lessons include basic instruction on self-assessment and constructive criticism, giving youth the opportunity to critique their own work as well as their peers. During each lesson, youth are reminded of the THINK acronym. Is it true? Is it honest? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary? And is it kind? These discussions are also formative. The journal entries are both formative and summative, with youth given time during the lesson to start their journal and time at the end to add anything additional they may have learned. And finally, at the end of all 6 lessons, youth are given a summative rubric in order to self-assess their work and their use of design throughout the program. Each assessment was vetted by a peer for validity, reliability, and practicality. What are the next steps for Perfectly Imperfect? I've submitted a proposal and hope to be accepted to present at the Joint Council of Extension Professionals Extension Leadership Conference in Kansas City, Missouri in February of 2022. The goal of this presentation is to develop agents' knowledge of their own identities and how they influence their perspective of the world, while also introducing them to the curriculum and creating opportunities for pilot locations around the country. In March of 2022, I plan to present a training at the Colorado Association of Extension 4-H Agents Spring Meeting for Colorado 4-H Agents. This training will kick off the pilot and evaluation process throughout the spring. Evaluation materials have been developed for both youth and agents to provide opportunities for growth and efficiency for myself and the curriculum. Revisions will be made throughout the summer based on the findings of the evaluation process, with the completed curriculum ready by early fall. In October of 2022, I hope to present an hour-and-a-half training session at the National Association of Extension 4-H Youth Development Professionals Annual Conference in Madison, Wisconsin. In conclusion, this poster and presentation covers the development of the curriculum. For the entire curriculum, as well as the link to the Perfectly Imperfect YouTube channel, you can use the QR codes on the screen. And just remember that art isn't perfect, but it always tells a story. To become a pilot location, to give feedback, or to ask questions, you can contact me through any of the methods on the screen.